Hello. Again, welcome to my kitchen. Yes, I did film this around the same time as I filmed the other video, but you know what? This is just to save time. We are going to do a web series review of The New Adventures of Peter and Wendy, and I have so many thoughts about this one, especially because it is a multi-season format, and I do have seasons that I liked better than other ones. This is a series about Wendy Darling and her friends and family, including Peter Pan, navigating the magic of adult life. This is based on J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan. So the characters are older, obviously, in this web series than they are in the original text. So some things that I really liked about this web series was because they are older, Wendy has a lot of fears about her future. Growing up in this series, it's not just the physically becoming older, it's also the how am I going to provide for myself? How am I going to provide for my family? Am I going to reach my dreams? And I really liked that that was kind of the direction that her character was going in. I also really liked how they wrote Peter Pan and Wendy's romance. I think that it was still very age appropriate while also being very sweet. Obviously, you're not going to take it super seriously if you have two 13-year-olds arguing about whether they want to be together, but when they're in their 20s, it's a very much different situation. I really liked that they used Tinkerbell sort of as a framing device. The camera sort of acts as her POV, and so there are some shots where the camera is moving around, indicating that she's flying, and Tink is relevant to the way that some of the plot happens, especially in seasons 2 and 3. So I really enjoyed that element, just sprinkling some magic in there. In season 2, there's a little bit of a spoiler if for whatever reason you haven't seen it or you haven't seen the second or third seasons, so I'm going to put a spoiler thing in here. I really liked having John and John Smee become a couple. I liked the conflict that was thrown in there. I thought that they were very sweet. The actors had a lot of chemistry. Obviously, with a lot of older texts, you also don't really see characters who are queer, so I really liked that throwing in that they were both men in a soft, sweet relationship. For the most part, most of the web series that I watch do have a lot of women who love women represented, but not as much men who love men. So I really liked that, and it also provided an opportunity, especially for John Darling, to grow a little bit. I really liked the third season, especially, and how it showed where all the characters, circumstances, where they were at after season 2, and how things shifted. It felt very organic. My favorite character in this series is Lily. She's based off Tiger Lily from the original text, but she is very different than I think a lot of people would view Tiger Lily, especially since Tiger Lily in the original text is a very racist depiction of a Native American princess. Lily in this series, she's a businesswoman, she knows what she wants, she's very confident, and I really, really liked her as a character. I thought she was very complex and very interesting. However, one thing that I did not like, essentially she starts off very well off, she's rich. The reason why she's a little bit haughty and a little bit maybe spoiled is because she actually grew up very poor. She's very much clinging to these things, this power, this status, so that she would never have to feel low and unworthy and unimportant again. The way that she grows as a character is essentially she's thrown back into poverty through the evil character's actions. And I really did not like that at all. I thought it didn't really make a whole lot of sense to have her relive her trauma as some kind of punishment, and that it's making her a better person to remember that time that she suffered. And I just really did not like that, especially when you consider that in this series, the characters who mainly play antagonistic roles, Lily and Joss, are also the only characters of color outside of John Smee, who still, as Joss's assistant, still kind of is on the slightly more morally ambiguous side. That was definitely a big concern of mine. In season 2, I felt that Peter became very, very unlikable. He was very much a bully, and he was acting very selfishly and very cruelly towards a lot of characters, including Joss and Lily. I was so relieved in season 3 when they had him take it seriously. He had a conversation with Wendy where she confronted that he couldn't just have what he wanted because he wanted it, that she'd made some choices and they weren't wrong just because they weren't the choices he would make. And I really was so relieved that he apologized to Joss for bullying him and for acting out the way he had, and that it didn't make Joss evil or just like the bad guy for reacting to the way that Peter was treating him. So I was so relieved in season 3. A lot of the things I had a problem with in season 2, they addressed and clarified, like, yeah, that was a problem, that was on purpose. Peter is not just magically like the good guy because, you know. Another thing that was strange was I think Wendy and Peter having different goals was a really excellent conflict. Instead of an evil character meddling to make everything go wrong, I think it was a really great way to show that they, as characters, needed to grow before they could be together again. Yet, it was very strange that in season 2, and again, there's another reason why season 2 was frustrating for me, Peter encourages Wendy to leave and to go off and succeed. Essentially, he pushes her away and is like, go do that. And it's rewritten as he let her go. And it's very strange that they would rewrite it that way. And I've seen this happen in like network TV. I've seen it happen in a few other web series where things kind of get rewritten to make one character look in the wrong and another character's decisions to be less bad. Wendy leaving was not, I think, a bad thing for her character. Rewriting it as if it's some failure on Peter's part for not convincing her to stay was a little concerning. I've also felt that Dad and Billy Jukes were not really necessary for the plot. We see a lot more of Mr. Darling in season 3. I felt like we could have gotten along without him. Billy, I also felt, didn't really offer much to the plot. It does make sense that Wendy would have made some friends during her time away from Neverland, but I still felt like her character didn't really do a whole lot or offer a whole lot. Wendy's conflict in season 3, I felt like there was a little bit of a plot hole there because she's already written a famous bestseller, and yet she feels this terror that she's not successful and that she's not going to succeed. I felt like if that was supposed to be written as she's worried about maintaining that success, or that now she has to reach even higher for even brighter stars, that didn't really come off to me. It felt more like the type of stress and fear and tension that would exist if her book was just about to come out and she was worried it wasn't going to sell. Also, another quick note, I really did not like how many jokes they had in the series about men wearing dresses and makeup. Character is like referencing something another character said, so he's wearing a wig or makeup or a dress and another character comes in and catches him and it's like a moment of awkward. I feel like that joke is very transphobic. I feel like it also encourages the sense that if you are a man who likes to wear dresses and makeup, or if you are gender nonconforming, or you don't look like what people expect out of you, then it's something that's funny or weird or embarrassing or something you have to hide. I didn't appreciate that. I think on the whole, if I had to pick a favorite season of the series, I would say season 3. I think standalone season 1 is really good. Season 2 I had a lot of issues with, but I do think that all put together, seasons 1 and 2 set up the character arcs. Even though I didn't personally like a lot of the elements in it, I think season 2 was necessary for a lot of the characters' growth. All in all, I think that it is at its strongest all put together. And if you can binge it all in a relatively close amount of time, I definitely would. I would watch this web series if you like characters who are living adult lives, have adult concerns, especially if in the original text they are a little bit younger. If you like literary-based web series, this is on the little bit more well-known side. I know that several of the actors have been in other literary-based web series. The actor who plays Peter was in the Welcome to Sanditon version that Pemberley Digital did. The actress who plays Wendy has been in Social Medium. So if you really like literary-based web series, you like seeing how people take elements or themes from original texts and replace them into a modern world or a different context, then this is a really good example of that. And if you like romance-driven plots and themes of growing up and figuring out what your dreams are, finding love, then this is a great web series for that. If you have a difficult time seeing main characters being a hot mess, if you are very particular about your Peter Pan, and you do not want to see that tarnished, then I might not watch this web series. If you're a fan more of original concepts, obviously this web series is a literary-based adaptation, so it does play on a lot of the themes and the characterization of the original text. And if you prefer the characters to remain children, or you prefer a lot darker of a take, that's apparently kind of gotten popular. I don't know when that started, but everybody likes to make Peter the villain, or to make it all like very creepy and very like kidnappy. He's sneaking into bedrooms and kidnapping children. If that's more your vibe, then this web series is probably not going to meet that need. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have a web series you would like to recommend to me, please comment it below, send it to my Tumblr, email it to me. I would love to watch it. And if you have any thoughts, anything that you agree or disagree on, please don't hesitate to comment those as well.